Welcome back to The Watch. And guys, it's time we have a bit of a chat about alt tech. You've heard of alt tech, I assume?
Yes.
Yeah, alternative tech.
Alternative technology, specifically video hosting platforms. So we're talking about Rumble, Odyssey, BitChute, Player, okay? And the catalyst, I guess, for this discussion is a video that Jeremy from Quartering recently made where he politely calls out people asking or saying why he feel like, why aren't they supporting alt tech in the sense of making content, mirroring their content on these other platforms. And I have many a thought to share about it because we have a very strong perspective on this because we are in that boat of being content creators and mirroring content on the other platforms. Now, we actually are mirroring our content on the other platforms. Rumble, Odyssey. I was trying to do it on BitChute, but their mirroring thing is just, I don't know, stuffed up and it's not doing it automatically anymore. And so we have been doing that. Now, Jeremy, he does mention that there are creators who have spoken out against, YouTube censorship who are making sword-related content. And so I assume he was referencing me, but maybe not, because it could have been also Metatron, Scalagrim, or other people who have kind of talked about how YouTube is screwing us over. Because he did look people up, and he probably found us when he looked us up. The thing is, though, Metatron, he might be, inclined to support alt tech and everything. Not Scalagrim, he's very far leftist, and he probably thinks Rumble is a place for the alt-right, racists and stuff. Okay, so why, even though we are I have been, making sure we're on these other platforms, I haven't decided to dive headfirst in and promote them yet for a couple of outstanding concerns. Because I guess, Jeremy, that's been his kind of thrust message that, at least you should be mirroring the content. We are doing that. But as to promoting it, so let's start to talk about some of the concerns. For me, there are three concerns that I've had. One is starting to get better, and that is monetization.
Right.
Yeah.
Before we go any further, we should differentiate between, because there's two different channels we're talking about here.
Yes.
There's Night's Watch, which is this channel, and there's also the main channel, which is Shadiversity. Now, Shadiversity is apolitical. There's no political content, and it's going to remain that way. There's obviously in the context of maybe like a historical discussion, sure, but I mean like in current day modern politics, we try to keep that completely out. Now, on these platforms, which we, for the most part, support independent. Like YouTube is screwing us over.
Oh, yeah.
And we do support platforms that are trying to create a more fair way for content creators. The problem is, whether or not they intend for it or not, these aren't mainstream platforms. And Shadiversity is very much, sure, it's in a niche, but it's a mainstream type of channel.
It's apolitical.
Yes.
And you could call it normie content.
Yes, very much.
And when we say that we want these other platforms to succeed, and trust me, I genuinely do. Give me an alternative, a proper, viable alternative with YouTube, and I'm there. But that's the key word, viable, okay? Because we still have to support ourselves. And most of the money, when I say most, I'm saying about 75% of our revenue comes from YouTube ad revenue, okay? It means we wouldn't be breaking even at all just on that, and we rely on our wonderful supporters, which are
thank you guys for supporting.
Thank you so much. And this is channel memberships, Patreon, Subscribe Star, and Player, right? Utreon, Player.
Is it?
Yeah. They changed their name and it stuffed all us up. Like we just...
And that makes up our remaining revenue to just barely breaking even at the moment. We're not making a profit, we're just surviving, right? Yeah. And it's only thanks to our supporters that are doing that, but still the bulk of it is coming from ad revenue. And we are just not in a position to even lose 10% of that revenue, that ad revenue at the moment. That's how tight a ship that we have. And so to really dive headfirst onto these other platforms, we need to be self-sustaining. Like if we took a hit, like another significant hit to our revenue, that's people losing their jobs, right? Well, first pay cuts and then potentially even like selling assets and things because I don't want to lose people, right? And that's all taking some really severe hits into my own kind of assets and stuff to keep things going. But that's the reality where it's at. Now, I want to give props to Rumble for having a type of monetization. That is actually a breakthrough with these alt tech platforms, because that's been the one of the most difficult hurdles for them to overcome. Right. And so the mere fact that Rumble is playing ads is huge, significant. But we have had a look at the analytics and metrics, right? And there's some significant differences.
There's also the ecosystem. So any sort of sustainable platform for growth, like keep in mind, we don't want to just sustain. We want to grow. We want to grow our channels. Yes. Everybody wants to. If we were to go to something like Rumble or fully dive in, there's no growth. Maybe in the future, but at the moment, it does not have a mainstream user base at all, which for something like the main channel Shadiversity is a massive problem. We checked what are they? The little tabs where the gaming and
the different
the categories,
and we're talking like 2,000 in that category.
2,000 live viewers at the moment.
In the gaming
category.
And then we also did a quick cursory search just to see if like more mainstream content creators with tens of millions of subs, things like Hacksmith, LTT, Corridor Crew. Not a single one of them is on the platform. The most you're going to get is like reply videos and things like that. That is not a healthy ecosystem for a mainstream creator to try and enter.
Now, that's the type of thing that Rumble should, I'm sure they want to grow.
Yeah.
But if they're wanting to grow that, well, we are one of the few people putting out high quality mainstream content on Rumble. And this comes to one of the other issues that we are seeing with it, and that's search and discoverability. Okay. We, at the moment, Shadiversity content, right, is getting on average 400 to 500 views per video at the moment. And it's a start, but it's like, it's nowhere near what and the growth on it has been very, very slow. And a lot of the people that are coming to Rumble to watch content, they're not coming to watch mainstream content.
Yes.
And so the Shadiversity content just isn't getting viewed a lot. Yeah. A lot of the more organic kind of view growth is with more political stuff. But then Night's Watch is that type of stuff, more pop culture. Night's Watch is getting around 200 views a video on Rumble. And so, look, search and discoverability is an issue. And so revenue, search and discoverability, issue number 3, and we're probably going to go through each one of these subjects more in depth, okay, is user interface.
Yes.
Well, the Rumble user interface is not good.
Period.
It actually sucks.
People don't want to downgrade. Like, there's just no other way to describe it. Like, when YouTube does anything that, like removing dislikes, that's a downgrade. People don't like this. And convincing someone to leave an ecosystem that has all the creators they want for creators that aren't there, and they're only able to get one specific type of content, be it political or otherwise, and also downgrade the interface. But like, for example, when we have to upload on certain platforms.
I was going to say, I'm sorry, Play It, but you're a pain to upload to.
Just because the user interface is just not good.
And we'll show some examples, especially about the home page where you the landing page for your main channel. It sucks. What type of content is shown as a showcase for the channel is basically, it's only the most recent 3 videos, and that's it. Like, the actual kind of display sucks. And lastly, and this is something that a lot of people are reluctant to talk about, but we are not the only ones who have noticed this. I've talked to other creators about this, and if we want to be upfront and frank about some of their reservations other creators are having about embracing other platforms, I think someone needs to talk about it, and so we'll do that. And I'm reluctant to, honestly. I want Rumble to succeed, okay? No. But Rumble, it's basically reporting impressions as views, and that has some concerning implications.
Well, it has some negative implications because, for example, advertisers aren't going to want to be attracted to a website that doesn't accurately report, because how are they going to invest? Okay, let's say I want to pay someone $1 million to advertise on there, but all of a sudden I'm not getting an ROI, return on investment, because they're not accurately reporting viewing numbers. So it's a big deal.
It is a big deal, and so as to the morality of it, it's an impression, so they're reporting some accurate type of metric there, and it almost feels like the fake it till you make it kind of strategy. Like, look how many views we're getting, because they want to report big views to attract more people. And look, Jeremy's actually criticized Twitter for doing the exact same thing, reporting impressions as views on the Twitter metrics, and he specifically was calling out, I think it was the interview that Tucker Carlson did, was it with someone, or was it Donald Trump or something like that, but it got like millions and millions of views, and Quartering rightly was saying these aren't actually views, they're impressions, okay? And we'll prove to you that Rumble is basically doing the same thing. And so those are 4 significant reasons why, at least for me and us, we have been hesitant to promote it. We are mirroring our content. We want these platforms to grow, but these are the things that have kind of, we're still waiting for that good, like actual viable alternative for us to dive in.
Something I want to preempt, because people probably say, well, okay, maybe it makes sense for the main channel, but what about Night's Watch? Why don't we do that? That's more expressly political. Well, the problem is Night's Watch is more of a passion than a self-sustaining.
Although it is actually making up maybe 10 to 20%
it does
of
help.
our YouTube ad revenue now, and so we need that as well.
It does help, exactly, but it's not we couldn't rely on this. So even cutting this in onto Rumble would be a problem.
Now, we were just talking about other things. Maybe I'll reach out to Rumble, or if Rumble, if you're watching this, I'm interested in talking to you about making dedicated content for Rumble. But we need to be incentivized to be able to do it, because we're at such a thin thing. We are preparing to launch it was going to be a new YouTube channel with dedicated content. And if you want to talk about, because if you want to attract a more normie audience, more mainstream stuff, this would be apolitical, high production value, quality, really fun content that everyone who has watched has loved, right?
Correct me if I'm wrong, but hasn't the Daily Wire started doing this as well? They started making more movies and not expressly political content to try and
attract,
to create more entertainment value stuff. So it's something that if you want to get people on these sorts of platforms, you got to try and. There's nothing wrong with creating a free speech haven or whatever you want to call it. I'm all on board for this, but it can't just be expressly political, because people watch more than just political content. You know?
So, hypothetically, say Rumble did want to do a deal with us to make dedicated content, right? Would that start to shift it? Like if we saw a channel we liked that starts making a new series of dedicated, videos that are not available anywhere else apart from Rumble, would that gravitate you towards watching Rumble? Because what we would do,
dedicated content, yes.
Because if we did this, we would promote it on everything that we have, sending more people to Rumble to do it. And funnily enough, our TikTok channel is growing. We have over 100K subscribers on there for some reason, but there's that. But my Twitter is growing, and then we have we've been doing shorts and and we've got actually surprisingly good views on our Facebook Reels and stuff. And so we'll promote that content and send all. And so I think it's viable, and I'll try and reach out to Rumble and we'll see about something. But again, that's going to take time and investment, and we'll plan to do it on YouTube because, well, YouTube is a proven, platform that can return money. Okay, so let's go through those 4 things. And the monetization is very tied with the numbers side of things. So we're kind of going to be tackling those 2 together right now. Okay, and so I'm not trying to take away credit from Rumble for having monetization, period. This is really important. But we went in deep into the analytics to break down exactly what's happening here. And first of all, there is a problem with views.
Yes, okay? How they report
because
views.
What we needed to find on Rumble was what was our monetized views? How many ads were we getting on the content? And that is vastly different to the views they're reporting.
Well, before we just touch on the view, we should also touch on comments and likes.
Yes.
In that sort of
This is exactly the same about the views. So a number of creators, myself included, have already had their, radar alerted to something going wrong with Rumble sometimes reports really high view counts, and the likes and comments do not match those view counts.
Now, to play a little bit devil's advocate here, there are plenty of videos like on Shadiversity that can do hundreds of thousands and have a disproportionately low comment mount and like ratio.
But there is a trend.
That is more of an outlier than the standard.
The standard likes to view ratio on YouTube is 10%. Whatever, on most videos you look at, if you look at the views and it gets the standard interactions outside of their heavily disliked videos and all those things, and so this is very consistent with Shadiversity and Night's Watch, is 10%. So if you have a video that has 100,000 views, you're going to expect around 10,000 likes, and it'll vary sometimes between low and high, so 8,000 to 12,000. That's kind of your range right there.
And that's why people usually say leave a like and comment, because that can boost it in the algorithm, because then the algorithm thinks that it's a better video.
Yeah.
That's why.
And so that's the average that you would then expect for views to like ratio even on other platforms. I looked at a video recently on Rumble that had a reported view count of 220,000 views, and it had barely over 1,000 likes.
Yeah, that's crazy.
That is such a massive and disproportionate ratio. What that really means is the true views of that video would be closer to 10,000 based on the likes.
Yeah.
And I bet if they look into, because you can actually go into the Rumble back end and by digging, you can actually find different metrics of what their views are. These are our metrics on Rumble, and this is actually for all Shadiversity and Night's Watch content collective. Okay, now I think this is over the last period, which must be either a month or a quarter. 12,900 raw views. Now the term raw view is a new type of view that I've never come across on YouTube or anything. What is a raw view? And it's essentially 13,000. I would actually, my impression is that these are impressions, not views.
Yes.
And,
so somebody just lightly viewing the video, scrubbing it playing while you're hovering over it.
I think it counts autoplays.
And probably people who are going back and forth to videos as well.
Yes.
So repeats of a view.
But then it has unique views, which is 4,600. That sounds far closer and more accurate to the real view count.
Well, there's even another one here.
There's another one.
Ad eligible.
So ad eligible, that's actually what that piqued our interest right there.
That's the key one.
That's the key one.
How would you, if you were counting an ad eligible view, how would that be? Well, you've watched a video and you've been served an ad.
No, not even served. Like an ad, because what they have.
No. I'm saying, but like they would try to serve you one. You can
or there was a view that could have been monetized.
Yes.
Okay. That to me actually is okay. So that's a real view.
Yes.
That's the real. And so
that's a YouTube view.
That would, and by the way, the closest comparison to say YouTube is that this ad eligible view is a base standard YouTube view.
Yes.
Okay. Because not all views on YouTube are monetized. YouTube has a view and then monetized views. A monetized view is a view that had an ad, and a view is just all views. Yeah. And so suddenly, this is the difference. Raw views, 13,000, but real views, ad eligible is 1,300. That's a massive difference.
But then we even have another category.
Then we have another one, which is
filled.
Filled means an ad has appeared.
Yes.
I looked this up, and that's what it means. Filled is a fulfilled view or ad that's appeared.
Now, something I don't know, but on YouTube you have different types of ads. So you can get paid a little bit slightly different for different ads, banner ads. Does Rumble have different ads like this?
I actually don't know. But I think it balances out around it, because the CPMs end up being somewhat close, but CPM isn't actually the issue here. The issue is, so CPM is the amount you get paid per 1,000 ads that appear. That's comparable to YouTube. When we looked at the analytics and metrics,
it's still lower.
But the amount of ads that appear on the videos is less on Rumble than YouTube, and that's the key. So we were able to actually finally figure this out. Ad eligible, that's views, and fulfilled is monetized views.
Yeah.
Now that we found that, we were able to compare this to YouTube. Yeah. And we're able to look at views versus monetized views. Yeah. All right. So out of the amount of actual views we got, 15% of those views had ads appear on Rumble. that's Rumble. This is what we get on YouTube. Out of the amount of views that we get on YouTube, 27.8. So effectively 28% of our videos get ads.
Now this doesn't seem
on YouTube.
This doesn't seem too bad, but do remember, if we were to actually count all of the views that Rumble says we get.
So yeah, if we would actually find out the amount of ads that appeared versus the amount of base views they report on the home screen and the first things,
it's 1.6%.
1.6%.
Yes.
Okay.
So we're being very fair here by saying
looking at we're going to look at the actual what a real view is.
Yeah, real view.
And not they're just hovering over or not basically impressions. Now, that is interesting, okay? It's nearly half of monetized views of what YouTube gets.
Now, in context, I give credit for this.
I do.
I give credit for a platform that's relatively new.
15% is actually not terrible for a new platform like this, and it's the biggest hurdle, and the fact that it's even there is a big credit to Rumble.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm acknowledging that.
But we need to look at it in terms of, just say for us, right? Yeah. If we had to go, that means a worse user interface. Mm-hmm. We would have to take, first off, lower CPM and lower amount. And then on top of that, it's like a death blow. Mm-hmm. It's literally a death blow.
Yeah, like if, say we were duplicating all our views on Rumble that we're getting on YouTube, which we wouldn't be the case, by the way, because different platforms, different views and everything like that, we would almost be making half ad revenue flat. Yeah. And the other thing that's would be concerning to creators, we had to dig to really discover, okay, what is the real view? If most creators are probably going to be taking what the views are reported on their channel, all right, and that means if they then look at the actual ads revenue that's coming, it's going to actually be like 1% of the surface views reported ad revenue return. And that's going to look much, much worse for content creators thinking that this is is it a viable platform?
Well, we also need to touch on CPM. So first off, in different niches on YouTube, you get different CPM. Like I think it's like finance is really high, stuff like that. So we're in sword tubing. It's a weapon. It's not like the worst in the world, but it definitely could be better. However, if you go to a different niche, let's say gaming or computers, it's going to probably be higher. How would you convince them to come over to Rumble when their CPM will also, no matter what, will probably be a lot lower, especially because there's not an audience there for it.
The CPM on Rumble is actually not, well, for us, it's not terrible.
Right.
Rumble reports a $4 CPM, and our CPM for Shadiversity is like 3.5, so $3.50.
Yes, but CPM would be based on how many viewers you can have it. For example, if you're in a higher niche, then there's more viewers.
No, CPM is just the amount per 1,000 ads.
Yes, but it's different.
But Rumble is you're getting less ads per 1,000 views on Rumble, almost by half, than on YouTube. That's the.
Yes, but CPM is calculated by what niche you're in, because you get different ads from different advertisers who pay different rates. On Rumble, if you're a gaming channel, for example, there's a lot less gaming viewers there, so your CPM is going to be a lot lower.
Actually, it's hard to calculate that because sometimes on lower things. There's less division, and so CPM might even be higher if there's less creators to divide the ad revenue allocated to that amount per creator, and so it's actually tricky to calculate.
I would hope that, but I highly doubt that.
So I don't know what CPMs would be in other. We can only report what we have, and the thing is though, $4 CPM is actually a bit better than the CPM we have on YouTube. It's just we don't get enough of it. We get double. So remember, per 1,000, we get double those 1,000 views on YouTube, which is monetized views, versus Rumble at the moment, which is why we're making a lot more on YouTube.
Well, our view to monetized view is about 28% on YouTube. On Rumble, it's 15%, and that's if we're counting the generous way.
Yeah. If you're counting the
views they report,
it would be 1%. The thing is, though, we did confirm that the true view amount on Rumble is the ad eligible views, because when you divide the ad eligible views, which is 1,300, by your earnings, it's not an exact division, right? But you actually figure out how much you're making per single ad based on the earnings, and then multiply that by 1,000. We hit $4 exactly, which is the CPM they report, which means that confirms the ad eligible views are the real views.
Yes.
That's where you get the $4 CPM from. Yeah.
But they don't say that.
They don't say
which is a problem.
Yeah. And like if Rumble is wanting to get creators on board, right? I've already kind of mentioned it. They're going to look at the views as reported and the actual earning. Then the amount of monetized ads that are appearing. But it's like for us, it's 1%. Because they're reporting we got 13,000 raw views essentially, and that's not a real view. And so that there is a whole bag of like just things, right? But even when you try and look past the what is a real view and find it's half. The ad revenue is half, and that's both good and bad. It's great that there's even there, like 14% monetization on views for a new thing is pretty awesome. Honestly, I don't know of any other platform that has that level of monetization. It's still half of what we're making on YouTube, and we just can't take that hit. We like yeah.
What do you think is a viable solution to this problem? Because I've just been thinking about something like Epic. What is it? I was about to say Epic Adventure. Epic Games cultivating exclusives. Do you think that's a viable way to grow a platform like this?
No.
You don't?
No. While you two have been talking, I've been thinking about it a lot. I think the main thing that what makes a successful platform, I think, is a good algorithm.
Search and discoverability.
Yeah. I think
views.
I think of back in the day in YouTube when I would spend 6 hours on YouTube going from video to video to video when the revenue was the best was when we had that algorithm that just kept serving new stuff. With Rumble, we go onto the homepage and I don't see anything that I like. The way that I would...
This is a really good point, by the way, because Shadiversity content should be the entertainment category on Rumble. I clicked on the entertainment tab and I saw nothing there that interested me. And
I agree, but I'm also saying there's not, apart from political stuff, there's no YouTuber that you would want to watch on there because they're just not on.
Hang on, we're on there.
But I don't think any of those elements are on there because with YouTubers, what you want, I think at least, is natural growth. And if you're not getting that on a platform, you're not going to be on it. With YouTube, at least, we can count on, algorithms changed, we can get new viewers, therefore increase the revenue. But with here, we're getting what we already have. You can't have that discoverability.
Yeah, at the moment, we would only be, it seems like any growth on Rumble is taking away the view on YouTube and putting it on Rumble, and we're not getting new viewers on Rumble. Not that I've seen. We've been on Rumble for, I think, about a year, mirroring the content, and the growth has been very low, and organic discoverability for good quality content. Shadiversity is some of the best quality content in terms of the created. And watch our videos if you don't believe us, right? Like look at we've been making the better quality content than we ever have before, right? It is on Rumble, which means there is great quality content on Rumble, but no one is able to find it.
Okay. So is it a chicken and egg situation? Do you need the creators to bring the audience, or do you need the audience to bring the creators?
It's a bit of
You'd
both.
need the algorithm to bring both in.
But I'm seeing none of them on there.
But
I'm not seeing.
we're on there.
I'm saying yes, we are on there.
Yeah, but why are people discovering us?
But there's no giant creators on there. There's no giant creators on there, and I don't see a giant audience on there.
People would consider Shadiversity giant, but
yes, for this. yes. I'm talking about the ones we're in the millions. I'm talking about the people in the tens of millions. That's what I'm talking about. Those giant mainstream creators. I don't see any of them on there. I see re-uploaded content on there just from random people, and I don't see a giant audience on there either. Mainstream audience.
It's the main reason why they now go on TikTok to do their short content, but they don't go onto Rumble to do their long form content because the algorithm on TikTok's actually showing their content to new people.
It actually is.
Yeah, but TikTok's massive.
It's
a massive.
Because the algorithm, they've created it into this amazing
thing. It's also watchable. This is where we come to the user interface issues as well, is that Rumble at the moment is not a enjoyable, easy viewing experience. Not only for search and discoverability, but just watching content, period. Like TikTok is an easily watchable platform, and therefore people start watching it more, and then discoverability. And we've put our shorts on TikTok, and we've actually got millions of views on certain of our short videos, and over 100,000 subscribers in the matter of like a couple of months. by the way, this is also proof that our content is good, and when we are not screwed over,
Oh yeah.
people watch, they like, and they subscribe, right?
Did I tell you about the experiment I did?
What?
On my main channel, like personal channel I'm talking about, I would put out a video and it would get maybe, I don't know, 1,000 views. I make a brand new channel and I put it out, 30,000 views. Like it's not the quality that's the issue, Chad. It's discoverability.
It is. YouTube is actually screwing over specific channels. Shadiversity has been getting shadow banned for ages. And so one of Jeremy's points was, if you're getting shadow banned, put it on Rumble and you'll see growth. Well, he was saying that you won't lose money, and I think he's aware of some of the problems with the interface, and I'm confident it'll get better, by the way.
Sure.
Yeah.
I would think out of all of the things we've said so far, making the interface better is 100% doable. All the other stuff is a bit more harder.
If Jeremy is wondering why people like us are still hesitant, well, our content's already on there, but we haven't dived in because there are these issues. We're waiting for things to get better. And then we might, all right, it's viable, we can start promoting it, because people, when they come to Rumble to watch a video, and I've done this, I've gone to Rumble to watch a video, I never stay and watch more, because recommendations of videos after that video play, when I see other videos and everything, nothing there is latching me on. And even when I go to channel pages, right? And this is the issue. If we can bring up the Shadiversity page, this is the Shadiversity page on Rumble. When you go there, what content do you actually see? Only the recent uploads.
Yeah. And not only that, this upload format is not good.
Yeah.
Because I'm only getting one video at a time.
Yeah.
I don't understand why you would do this. You would want, like, as much as we complain about YouTube, a bunch of things with YouTube, they've at least got a lot of things down.
And you have a lot of options on that main page where I can do most popular uploads, and it isn't, the one video doesn't take up the whole thing. It's just a script, like the thumbnails of all these cool different videos.
And then you can put like playlists under that, of custom, where you want to highlight videos. Like, these things are good. They are positive. And there's
a trailer that can autoplay when you land on it to attract people.
Not only that, there's two of them. There's one for new viewers and there's one for returning.
Those are all really important to attract people to the channel. Rumble looks like arse. I'm sorry. I love you, Rumble. I want you to do better. I want you to succeed. This is a problem. Now, also, just to give credit where credit is due as well, let's go to Odyssey. So this is the Odyssey front page. And they basically copy YouTube, but that's good. That's a good thing. And if you scroll down, you'll see new content and then other recommendations and stuff. And if you scroll up, you'll see there's a lot more tabs: to content, to playlists, to channels, memberships, community. Now, we mirror on Odyssey as well. And I would love to see Odyssey grow, but out of the alternative platforms that really seem to be getting a foothold, Rumble is the big player at the moment. Right.
Do remember, proof is in the pudding. Like, people don't like TikTok, but because of the discoverability, because it is such a...
there's viewership there. Yeah. People are using the platform.
Even when people don't like it.
I hate TikTok.
Me too. What about
but now we have over 100,000 subscribers on it.
I think we all hate it. Wait, do you like TikTok?
I hate how much time it takes away from it.
See?
It's such a good algorithm. It just...
Exactly. And even though when you ask people, they're going to say, I don't like TikTok, people go onto it because of what it offers.
TikTok is now our second most subscribed platform. And that's just from posting our shorts, not even main content, just our shorts in the last couple of months. 4 months was it? I don't know, like something around there.
Yeah.
3 months.
And because the content is good, when we actually get fair search and discoverability, it grows because it's good content. Yeah. That's the proof right there. If people think, people are just getting disinterested in Shadiversity. No, it's not.
So if you make a good platform that has a good algorithm, people will flock to it.
If you make good content in a fair system, you will grow. So we need to see that on Rumble.
I'd love to see that.
You know, like TikTok grew because it did start to do something different to YouTube. It was offering a user experience different to YouTube, and then it grew, and then it starts to take some of YouTube. If Rumble really wanted to start thinking outside the box, is there something you can add to the Rumble experience that YouTube doesn't have, right? That you could grow an audience and attract people for that thing. It's so hard because TikTok exploded on accident. People never thought short content would be popular.
I mean, Vine was pretty big.
Was it?
They shot themselves. So
maybe.
People have short attention spans and they like short content. I think, you're right. It is. I think they just do what YouTube does, do it better. Just do it better.
Even then, I'm not sure.
People want
Add that one feature that Shad was saying.
Yeah,
that is,
because
Add a dislike button.
just trying to compete on the same playing field as YouTube means YouTube will always win because it's bigger, more experienced, everything like that. TikTok grew because it was doing something different. And if Rumble wants to get an audience that instead of just competing, they need to add something different, figure out a new type of content people would love to engage with, to make and be part of, Rumble. And I'm going to start thinking about that. And if I have an idea, I'm not sure I'll give it away for free.
we'll make it ourselves.
Joker, if you're good at something, never do it for free.
So the other point that I wanted to bring up was viewers don't stay on these platforms because they're on a whole bunch of other platforms. If you're already on YouTube watching some video, why would you go to another platform to watch the same video or upcoming videos? If you're already established on a platform, and this is an issue we have with like getting people to support us on different platforms because they already are signed up to Patreon or whatever, so they'll just stay on Patreon.
Yeah, and like Patreon still takes a larger cut. The best platform for us at the moment is Subscribestar in terms of support,
but
right?
everybody's on Patreon, so they'll just stay on Patreon. It's the same with a YouTube. So that's why I asked, bringing up if having exclusive content would actually make a difference, because what's the point of watching a Night's Watch video or Shadiversity video on Rumble if you're on YouTube?
Well, if there's other
As
content...
just remember, as a viewer.
Yeah, as a viewer, I could see incentive for that, right? If the experience was enjoyable, right? And then there were like things that made you say, like if there was other content that's get recommended.
I was going to say, it for me, the sole reason, like I could put up with all these other things, I would want them to fix it, but I could put up with them, but diversity of content is the sole reason. I'm not just going to go there to watch 100% political stuff, especially when you can get it on YouTube and I can get cool, people throwing swords around or whatever. Like you need this different type of content and creators.
And so Rumble has done a good job focusing on getting some support from political content. Crowder is going more dedicated Rumble. Quartering has his dedicated live stream. Of course, then there are the really cancer people like Russell Brand and I'm not sure if Alex Jones is on Rumble, but I know Russell Brand has really thrown his hat in with Rumble, and I think that's all good, right? Rumble needs to start really building out outside of the
mainstream
stuff. Yeah, mainstream stuff. And this might be an opportunity for Rumble then, because we want to support Rumble, and if they want a dedicated bit of content.
Out of all the mainstream creators, I think we're most willing.
Yeah, because only like I'm trying to think of who non-political content, right? Because of a lot of other channels who make non-political content, right? They're pretty just happy on YouTube because they're not getting screwed over.
Yeah, like do keep in mind, I know there's going to be
gun channels do get screwed over a lot.
True.
Yeah,
but I think a lot of people in the comments are going to be trying to wrap their head around it. So let's lay it out in a simple way. For a mainstream creator, not a right-wing creator, not a political creator, for mainstream, you're asking them to take less money, have less views, have a worse viewing experience, and also negatively impact their main channel. That is
untenable.
That's not a realistic expectation to ask of someone, a business, let's say.
So these issues do need to be solved for those reasons. Now, we are not in a position to just migrate viewers yet. I wonder if the monetization on Rumble improves to the point where it's comparable, and even I guess people might be also thinking, are we doing 100% or nothing? I wonder if we could take a hit of 10% of our viewership on YouTube and send that to Rumble to make 5% of the revenue back out of that 10%.
From my point of view, it has to be an exclusive, because what's the incentive? I don't understand the incentive as a viewer. If some creator's making a video on YouTube and Rumble, and I'm already completely set up on YouTube, what's the incentive?
It's like Epic Games and Steam right now.
Yes.
If it's on Steam, I'm going to buy it on Steam. Epic Games only touch if it's exclusive.
Yeah.
I do want to mention, because Jeremy mentioned this point multiple times, that putting your content on Rumble will not lose you money on YouTube. Now, I think that's only true to an extent, because, for instance, we're putting our content on Rumble and Odyssey, and BitChute has had issues. I don't think we've lost any viewership, but that's because we're not getting really any views on.
And we also don't promote it.
We don't promote
We don't
it.
actively promote it.
Because I have to say, like, I've actually seen larger channels who do multi-streams that whenever they stream on both Rumble and YouTube, the live viewers on YouTube are always less. And I've seen them try it out when it's just solo streaming, then doing Rumble both, and then back to solo and everything. And it's been a consistent thing that views on YouTube are always less. And the views on Rumble are honestly misreported in terms of the live viewer counts, okay, than what is the actual live amount.
I'm curious. I'm not really a live streamer. I don't really like live streams, to be honest. What's the live stream viewing experience on Rumble? Because on YouTube, it is the worst out of Twitch. Like, Twitch is terrible, but their live streaming
I haven't tried.
format is supposed to be superior.
Yeah, I haven't tried to do any like Rumble, are they Rumble rants? They're super chats basically on Rumble. I haven't tried that. I've watched some live streams and it seems mostly the same, just the chat on the side and the video plays and that seems decently all right. Yeah. I still think that they're actually misreporting views. That I think they're inflated than what they really are. And again, you can tell that by like ratio to even on live viewers. Because you know, I've seen larger live streams and then the numbers that are reported on Rumble seem pretty good, but the results of what those views should be are not following through. Yeah. And so I actually do see a fragmentation of audience when you mirror stream. I've seen that. And so and by the way, I don't want to speak for other creators, but I've seen other creators kind of talk about this with me and things, and they've shared the same sentiment, right? That it is not a complete, like, safe thing that you're not, they do lose viewership on YouTube when they do that. And that makes them very hesitant to do it because, like us, we are so reliant on whatever crumbs we're able to get out of YouTube, even though we're getting screwed over. The minimal amount that we're managing to squeeze out is just enough, and we're not in a position to sacrifice even 10% of that.
Well, keep in mind how true this is. It can be debated, but it seems like YouTube has reached its market saturation limit. It's at least in the English-speaking world.
Yeah,
it seems like it's reached its limit. So when it comes to something like these alt tech platforms, there's no other way but for them to take viewers from YouTube because all the viewers are on YouTube. So when you cross-promote or you do that, by necessity, it will most likely be taking viewers that are already on YouTube or another platform and bringing them over to Rumble, which means you make less on YouTube.
Well, yeah, so Jeremy was pretty insistent that Rumble has its own viewer base now, separate to YouTube, and the views that you're going to get on Rumble are going to be in addition to what you get on YouTube. I would love if that was the case. I'm not sure. For us, right, we haven't gotten any organic growth on Rumble, and if we promoted it on all of our other channels, would only be taking our audience and putting it on, which means fragmenting our audience. And,
even more than it already is.
Yeah, and there's monetization on Rumble, but it's half as much as what we're getting on YouTube. And so I do wonder, though, because I want to support Rumble, could we take like a 10% viewership hit on, because if we heavily promoted Rumble on our channels and stuff, we wouldn't get 100% conversion, not even close. I think would actually only get like a 1% conversion maybe, all in all honesty, because people are reluctant to move, and I am reluctant to promote a platform that has a lesser viewing experience at the moment.
For me, it's ecosystem. There's no point in us promoting everything and bringing the viewers from the main channel over to nothing. They're not going to get anything there. We'll be there, but there's nobody else there other than like political content, which, keep in mind, the main channel is a mainstream channel. So the viewers are not really political. So it would be a net negative
for the viewers at the moment. And that's the unfortunate situation. I believe it'll get better.
So do I.
Yeah, and so if Jeremy is wondering why haven't a lot of other creators properly supported alt tech yet, I think that's one of the big reasons. I think for us, even though we are mirroring it, it's just not there yet. I'm hoping it will be. And Jeremy, his response, I intuit might be something to the effect that it won't get to where we want it to go unless we support it. Which it's a bit of a circular thing then.
Yeah, but I feel like we kind of already are by putting our content there.
Yeah.
So people can go now and watch it without us having to, like,
At least
we're
it's
doing
not-
a thing.
At
like-
least it's not re-uploaded. It's not some re-upload. Like, the only way that I see them growing to a larger is if they invest in more mainstream creators and diversify the content, and then try and get some of that audience conversion from those mainstream into the platform and just make it a bit more of a complete viewing experience. Like, don't get me wrong, if Rumble wants to be just a political content creation thing, right, by all means. But if you want that mainstream success, you want those mainstream viewers and stuff, you need more content. Like the gaming category has like 1,000. Like that is.
Yeah, gaming's a tough one because, like, Rumble, I get like the strongest part of Rumble is its live streaming, and its main competitor is YouTube. But gaming live streaming on YouTube is only a part. Twitch and Kick now are the big players for gaming live streaming. Rumble has almost nothing in that department. Like for gaming live streaming, and that's like, gosh, Rumble, wow.
Well, we've looked at it from a larger creator point of view.
The epiphany I kind of had is like, Kick made such inroads in taking Twitch's audience by offering a better return system. Or was it on the memberships or subscriptions? Or the
just
actual thing?
percentage, I think, was different.
Like Rumble, if you like do that.
Yes, I do think that like Twitch did a lot of damage to us, more so than YouTube.
Yeah.
Like YouTube does a lot of damage to us, but Twitch was actively trying to
shot itself in the head. The thing is, though, Rumble isn't trying to grow gaming. They're trying to compete with mainstream content, which is non-gaming live streams and video content. And so
I would debate heavily on that one.
I know, this thing, gaming is such a big content group outside of live streaming, gaming content, reviews and subject matter.
Another thing that I just thought of was, we've looked at it from our point of view, a larger creator point of view. What's the incentive for a smaller creator?
Like, that's the struggle, because search and discoverability would be their biggest
massive. If you were able to like grow
a channel, but
sign all the small creators, sign me up.
Yeah.
But if you don't have the audience there, what's the point? And YouTube, you're going to take less.
If someone wants to grow an audience, YouTube is just that there's no competition there at the moment, and like, this is why I haven't promoted Rumble, because I did want to see what the organic growth would be for search and discoverability. And for Shadiversity, which is high quality content, right? The growth has been really bad.
And it's probably, I don't know if this is true or not, but I'm going to assume that the Shadiversity content on Rumble is the only of its kind on there.
Probably.
Yeah. And if that's not being promoted for whatever category it would fall into, that's not good.
Well, it's the same thing, because there isn't an audience there for it to begin with.
But even then, if you were to click on, like, I don't know, the entertainment or whatever categories they have, you would assume that type of
higher quality content should be promoted. And Shadiversity is not like, and I would like, if Rumble sees this, right, they might say, hey, we agree, Shadiversity content is good, and then they put that on there, but that would be them doing it manually.
Yes.
And the organic search and discoverability that the platform needs isn't actually getting addressed.
Yeah.
So there needs to be better search and discoverability for good quality content organically, without anyone doing manually, to make that entertainment tab and the other tabs really engaging, because there is good quality content on Rumble. We are putting some on there right now, but the fact that it hasn't been picked up and isn't on those tabs, to me, that is also an indicator that there might be other content that's getting lost under the radar on Rumble, and not
think of it like this.
Getting
we
promoted.
can say, believe me, we can say a lot about YouTube, but the truth, the simple truth has always been that if you make something very clickable, very watchable, even if you're not really in YouTube's good books, people want to watch it, and that feeds the algorithm.
They share it. The way that you're able to break through YouTube's shadow banning and stuff is when people actually share the content with each other.
There's been video like our carbon fiber video, our katana video, katana busting video. There are videos, even though YouTube doesn't like to promote our stuff, they're just such good videos that
they
even
push through.
It just smashes through. So we know that we can do that, which is a ray of hope amongst an ocean of darkness.
Yeah.
But I think that concludes everything on Rumble. I mean, I really hope that they do get better. And I think they have the tools to make a better viewing experience, especially because YouTube just, they actively try to make things worse. I think Rumble can make things better viewing experience.
I hope so. And Jeremy, if you've got any rebuttals or counterpoints to share with the things we've discussed in this video, sorry for it being so long. That's kind of the nature of what we do here. We appreciate you watching. I would love to hear some of your rebuttals. And even if you just wanted to talk about it, live stream, whatever, I would love to discuss it with you to talk about, are there answers to the issues that we've raised that's been caused us? And by the way, the concerns we have, other creators have as well. I've spoken to other creators that have, at least out of the list we shared, one or two is definitely amongst them all. And so that's kind of the answer why creators like us have still been hesitant diving in. Because we are supporting, but we've been hesitant to dive in. And maybe Jeremy is just wanting people to support and is like, maybe like, you know, I think he could understand some of our hesitation.
Well, I mean, sorry, I know we're finishing up. I was just thinking about it. I was like, well, YouTube live streaming wasn't that big. Then they started getting exclusive big Twitch streamers to come over and exclusively stream on YouTube. And all of a sudden, YouTube streaming became bigger. So, I mean, I just think exclusives is probably the way.
Maybe, because this is the thing, right? We have seen...
As much as I hate exclusives, don't get me wrong, I don't like exclusives.
But no. You have an interesting point because... that our TikTok growth proves that our content is popular when it's not getting suppressed, okay? It is currently getting suppressed on YouTube. And so content creators like us that are making good content that is not reaching the maximum audience it could obtain, that's like, if Rumble is like, we can push your content to that audience that YouTube isn't doing, that would incentivize us to making exclusive Rumble content.
You also need the audience.
You need the audience.
Otherwise, you get a mixed situation where not even a year goes by and your platform's dead.
But they can do that through exclusives. So Rumble.
Yeah. We have a contact email.
And maybe I can think of other creators as well. That depends. They don't have so much money, and they have been investing heavily. But they have investors in Rumble. That's why Rumble is a bigger player than Odyssey at the moment, because they have some weight behind them that they're able to leverage to their advantage.
Right.
All right. So share your thoughts in the comments below. Jeremy, if you do watch this, we appreciate you, mate. We do. We genuinely do. You support the creator community. You supported us on several videos and even the smaller guys. So thanks for doing what you do, and appreciate you for watching this. So as always, stay on watch.